Habibi gang, that Pickford wink after he received Haaland's penalty.
Oh, tell me about it.
I mean, talk about twisting the knife.
Yeah.
That was just brutal.
I mean, that pretty much sums up the whole game for City, doesn't it?
It really does.
Are they cursed?
I mean, one win in their last 13 matches in all competitions.
It's unbelievable.
It makes you think about all the pressure these guys are under, you know?
Yeah.
Think about it. Pep even had them stay at the Etihad campus the night before.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
The ultimate pre-game prep, right?
Yeah.
We're talking 80 bedrooms.
Wow.
150,000 pounds worth of mattresses and pillows. I mean,
they should be.
They should have come in fresh as daisies.
You would think.
Right.
But something's not clicking.
No.
Maybe it's all that legend. Maybe that backfired somehow.
Maybe.
Who knows? But they were definitely lackluster today.
They were.
Especially going up against a team like Everton that, has really been finding their groove lately.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Everton's been a real pain for the big teams recently,
Yeah.
Holding their own against Liverpool,
yeah.
Arsenal, Chelsea. I mean, they came into this match knowing they could get a result.
Yeah.
And they executed their game plan perfectly.
All right, so let's break down the actual match itself because it was a little bit of a head-scratcher.
Yeah.
City takes the lead early on thanks to an own goal by Everton's Branthwaite.
Right.
And for a moment, you're thinking, okay, here we go. Normal services resume.
Yep.
But then, boom, India levels the score.
Oh, yeah.
With this beautiful strike.
What a goal. I mean,
And that goal really shifted the momentum. You know what's interesting is how they did it?
Yeah.
They were so disciplined in defense, just absorbing all that City pressure.
Yeah.
And they just waited for their opportunity. And when they got it,
they took it.
Clinical.
Classic counterattacking football.
And it works.
Especially against a team like City that just loves to dominate possession.
Yeah. I mean, Everton's defense was it was like a wall.
It was.
So organized, so compact.
Just completely frustrating City's attempts to break through.
Yeah, it was like City were trying to walk the ball into the net.
Yeah.
Instead of taking those quick, decisive shots they're known for.
Yeah. It was like they overthought it every time.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of shutting down attacks, let's talk about the tactics Everton used.
Okay.
It looked like they were overloading the central areas, basically crowding City's playmakers, forcing them out wide, which meant City had to rely on crosses, and as we saw, those weren't very effective against Everton's backline.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton's defenders were winning almost every aerial duel.
Every single one.
And then on the other side, you have City's usually potent attack looking completely out of sync.
Yeah.
I mean, Haaland misses a penalty.
I know.
Savinho had some exciting runs, but no end product.
Right.
And even Silva, who did manage to score, missed a sitter for a second goal.
He did.
What do you make of City's performance in that final third?
Well, let's start with Haaland, missing that penalty, and then you've got Pickford with the mind games.
Oh, yeah?
That could be playing a bigger role than we realize,
Interesting.
Top strikers like Haaland, they thrive on confidence.
Yeah.
And a moment like that in such a high-stakes match that can really rattle them.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he bounces back from this.
It will. I mean, you could see the frustration building in him as the match went on.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't just Haaland. I mean, City as a whole just seemed off.
They did.
Like Savinho, for example.
Yeah.
All pace and energy.
Yeah.
But when it came to that final pass or that shot, he just couldn't quite deliver.
And it wasn't just Savinho. City just seemed to lack that cutting edge,
That clinical finishing that we're used to seeing from them.
Yeah, they created chances, but their decision-making on that final third was just poor.
Yeah.
It was almost like they were hesitant to shoot.
Hmm.
Maybe they were overthinking their options.
Yeah, instead of trusting their instincts. But to be fair, you have to give some credit to Everton's goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford.
Oh, he was fantastic.
He had a fantastic match.
He was a wall.
Crucial saves, including that penalty stop.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he anticipated City's moves.
He did.
He was always in the right position.
Always.
And his confidence just seemed to grow as the match went on.
Yeah. And it definitely had an effect on City's attackers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was like a leader out there for Everton.
He was.
So you've got City struggling in attack.
Yeah.
Everton defending resolutely. But, City did have their moments.
They did.
What about Foden's performance?
Oh, wow. He was great.
He seemed to be one of the few bright sparks for City.
Yeah, he was the one City player who was consistently trying to make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
His passing was crisp. His movement was intelligent. He wasn't afraid to take on defenders.
Yeah, take that moment in the 63rd minute, for example.
Oh, yeah.
He picks up the ball in midfield, weaves past 2 Everton players,
Right.
and then delivers this perfectly weighted through ball to Silva, who unfortunately scuffed his shot.
I know, he should have buried that.
I know.
But it was a moment of brilliance that almost created a goal.
Absolutely. Foden was pulling the strings for City, but unfortunately his teammates just couldn't capitalize on his creativity.
Nope.
And despite their struggles, Pep Guardiola seemed relatively calm on the touchline.
Yeah.
What do you make of his demeanor, especially considering City's poor run of form?
Well, Pep is known for his tactical genius.
Oh, yeah.
And even in this difficult period, he's probably analyzing every detail,
Right.
trying to figure out how to get his team back on track, you know?
Yeah.
It's easy to panic in these situations,
Yeah.
but Pep's experience and his belief in his system is probably keeping him level-headed.
Right.
I think he's probably focused on identifying those subtle tweaks that he needs to make,
Yeah.
rather than making any drastic changes.
That makes sense. Pep has always been about fine-tuning his system, and he probably believes that the solution lies within the current squad and tactics.
Exactly.
Now, before we move on to Everton's performance in more detail, I just want to circle back to one more thing about City.
Okay, what's on your mind?
It's just striking how different this City side looks
Yeah,
compared to the dominant force we're used to.
it is.
This isn't just a one-off bad performance, it's a trend.
Yeah.
They've only managed 1 win in their last 13 matches. That's a serious slump,
It is.
even for a team that's been rotating players.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The statistics paint a pretty grim picture.
They do. Let's look at the numbers.
They've conceded way more goals than usual during the slump, and their goal-scoring output has dipped significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, this suggests there are issues at both ends of the pitch. It's not just about individual errors, it's about the team's overall cohesion and effectiveness.
So it's deeper than just, a few missed chances or a couple of defensive lapses. It feels like a systemic issue, something that needs to be addressed at a fundamental level.
Exactly, and that's where Pep's tactical genius will really be put to the test. Can he identify the root cause of this slump and find the right solutions to get City back on track?
Well, while we wait to see if Pep can work his magic, let's turn our attention back to Everton and break down their performance a bit more. They may not have the star power of City, but they played with incredible grit and determination.
Absolutely. Everton's performance was a masterclass in tactical discipline and defensive organization. They knew they couldn't match City's attacking firepower head-on, so they focused on nullifying City's strengths and exploiting their weaknesses.
And they did that incredibly well. It felt like they had a specific plan for each of City's danger men. They doubled up on Haaland, closed down the space for Foden to operate, and forced Savinho into wide areas where he couldn't hurt them.
And it's not just about individual marking, it was about the collective effort. Every Everton player knew their role and executed it perfectly. They pressed as a unit, covered for each other, and made it incredibly difficult for City to penetrate their defensive lines.
They were like a well-oiled machine, each cog working in perfect harmony. It reminded me of the famous quote by Sir Alex Ferguson, "Attack wins you games, defense wins you titles." Everton might not be challenging for the title this year, but they've certainly shown they have the defensive foundation to be a very tough team to beat.
Spot on. And let's not forget the role of their manager, Sean Dyche. He deserves immense credit for instilling this defensive discipline and tactical awareness in his team. Dyche has always been known for his pragmatism and his ability to organize teams effectively, and we're seeing that at Everton this season.
It's a classic case of a manager getting the best out of his players. They might not have the individual brilliance of a City, but they make up for it with hard work, determination, and a clear understanding of their roles. It's a testament to Dyche's coaching ability.
And let's not forget, this isn't a fluke performance. Everton has been showing this kind of defensive resilience against other top teams as well. Remember their recent results against Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. They've proven they're no pushovers and that they can compete with the best on their day.
It's a remarkable turnaround for Everton. They were in a relegation battle last season, but now they look like a team on the rise. They found their identity. They've got a manager who knows how to get the best out of them, and they've got a group of players who are willing to fight for each other.
It's a fantastic story, and it just goes to show that in football, anything is possible. It's a reminder that hard work, organization, and a bit of belief can take you a long way, even against the most talented opponents.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to touch on a couple of individual performances that really stood out for Everton. First, we have to talk about Jordan Pickford again. He was absolutely immense. Not just that penalty save, but his overall command of the area, his distribution, his communication with his defenders. It was all top-notch.
He was a leader out there, inspiring his teammates and frustrating City's attackers. It was one one of those performances where you could see his confidence growing with every save, every punch, every successful claim.
Yeah, he was in the zone, and it made a huge difference for Everton. Then we have to mention the young center back, Jared Branthwaite. He was unfortunate to score an own goal, but apart from that, he had a fantastic game.
He was up against one of the best strikers in the world in Haaland, and he held his own. He was strong in the air, made crucial tackles, and read the game brilliantly. It was a mature performance beyond his years, and it suggests he could have a very bright future ahead of him.
So, Habibi gang, we've analyzed City's struggles, we've praised Everton's tactical masterclass, we've highlighted some standout individual performances. What are your key takeaways from this match? What surprised you the most? What are you still pondering?
For me, the biggest takeaway is that no team is invincible. City, despite their dominance in recent seasons, are going through a rough patch, and it shows that even the best teams can be vulnerable. And on the flip side, Everton's performance is a reminder that with hard work, organization, and belief, even the so-called underdogs can achieve great things.
I completely agree. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of football.
Yeah.
And it's why we love this sport so much. You never know what's going to happen next.
Absolutely. This match has thrown up a whole new set of narratives and subplots, and it'll be fascinating to see how both City and Everton respond in their upcoming matches.
Well, Habibi gang, we've dissected this match from every angle, and I think it's safe to say that we've all learned a thing or two today, but the conversation doesn't end here. We'll be back later today on the Pundit Habibi podcast to delve even deeper into the Premier League, so make sure you tune in for that.
Oh yeah, we'll be breaking down all the latest action, analyzing all the key talking points, and looking ahead to the next round of fixtures.
Until then, Habibi gang, keep the football faith, and may your team always come out on top.